Okay. So, if you're in the space, if you're in the sphere, all of you guys know this. If you're in the sphere, you know that Chud Logic likes to make videos about me. And I thought that I think that it would be pretty fun to go over his last video about me. Because it's so blatantly dishonest and, like, drama stirring. I've been trying to avoid, like, talking about or to Chud Logic at all, just because I think he's a loser. But I think that this'll be good.
She's never said it like this before, ever. Am I crazy? Am I crazy, or is
Yes.
this like a brand new thing that she's saying? I was forcing her to send me explicit images and make sexual deals for stream time. I'm so sorry.
The agreement, I guess, is that I sent him photos and we're sort of chill with each other and then I get airtime.
Is Tom retarded or something? Tom is honestly one of the most brain-dead that covers all this shit, okay? If it was Sparta, Will would have been left at the cliff and been chucked off the edge of the cliff. One of the little decrepit babies. Yeah, I saw this, but couldn't find the clip. Yeah, I've got some sort of this thing. My throat's fucked, basically. I don't think it ever looked worse.
You sound sick.
Appreciate that. Lav claims that she and Destiny had the agreement that she will send him photos.
I did pre-watch.
Sort of sexual with each other, and she'll get airtime. Is there like any evidence of this whatsoever?
So yeah, my point is, I'm glad that Max and Lav both put me off for as long as they did, because it's turned into, you know, this.
That's when everything started.
Well, I'm not fully up on the lore, but like if I remember correctly, like he thought that your criticisms of sex work were disingenuous and you were trying to like advertise.
This is even before that. This is even before that. So even before that, I called in just to talk because I saw the sex doll review, and I was like, hey, you should probably take more breaks instead of yelling at your girlfriend. Like, you should probably not make your feelings her problem. Which he disagreed with. But anyway, behind the scenes, me and Steven would talk because we sort of reconnected at that time, because it was sort of just like passive talking to each other over the year that we had known of each other. And Steven was like, well, you should stream. You should stream. Like, you're interesting. And I would talk to him about how much I hated sex work and how much I couldn't stand it and I didn't want to be in it anymore. And so this sort of became like my out. Mm-hmm. With Steven being sort of like, you know, I have a following, and, you know, if look at, he's like, how can I say she's lying? How can I make the least charitable interpretation of what Lav is doing at any given second? He's plotting. If I have to just say,
what this is like a new claim.
No,
this is like new information.
What is
being claimed now?
What is
what?
What's the new information?
Weren't all the logs given to Mr. Girl?
Yes.
Also, like, she's being disingenuous about the series of events here because she reached out to him to do the whole.
I said that.
Encapsulate the man in a shtick.
I said that I reached out to him first. Encapsulate the man. Give me a fucking break.
That she's done previously too.
Previously, when have I done it? When? Substantiate this claim. This is Chud's thing, is like, he just will say shit. He just will say shit, and his whole audience will just fucking believe it. Doesn't matter whether or not he has proof. And then when I say something, he's like, he's telling everyone to just not believe it, which is fine. I guess you can do that. You can make your whole platform dishonest, and you can turn into Keemstar, and you can be a loser, whatever. But it doesn't make a lot of fucking sense. I don't know what he doesn't like. What the fuck is he talking about? I have to do sex work with one person to get out of OnlyFans. If I can change careers, I will just do it.
What?
I'll just do it. And so then it was sort of just like, okay, the agreement, I guess, is that I sent him photos and we're sort of sexual with each other, and then I get airtime. And then he looks shocked. What? This is hilarious.
This is like brand new fucking revelation.
Brand new revelation. Let me show you something. Brand new revelation. Hear ye. Lav comes out with new bombshell information. Let's go over to mrgirl.substack. Let's look at the Destiny report. Let's go here. I'll put you guys back on the screen now. Brand new information, guys. Huge Lav drops bombshell information. Here it is. This is in the first couple paragraphs. The first thing Steven and I say. That evening, Lav asked, "Are you gonna stream with me and give me clout?" Destiny replied, "LMAO. If we've got something to talk about, sure, bucko." August 2, 2022, Lav and Destiny talk about OnlyFans on the stream. Afterward, she DM'd him, "I really like talking with you. Destiny, thanks. Now I'll feel less bad bugging you for feet pics. Ha ha ha. Pleasure doing business. Destiny, based. Welcome to the Orbiter Club." Brand new information! Brand new information! This is literally the first thing that we went over is how it was like a sort of perceived and not explicit, like I already have clarified on tomfoolery, there was never explicit contract. I send Stephen foot pictures and then I fucking go on for airtime. It was always this sort of like blurred lines where I felt like this is what was going on and I was okay with it. Like I said yesterday, I was okay with the fact that I would be like sending pictures for airtime. I was okay with it. That doesn't make it not misconduct because I have poor boundaries. But yeah, again, I wish that I wouldn't have done it now, knowing what I know now. But at the time, I was like okay with that was the scenario, and it was very like we joked about it a lot, but it wasn't just jokes. It's not just jokes if that's literally what you're doing. If I'm sending you feed pictures and then I'm coming on your stream, I get perms immediately after. It's not just jokes anymore. That's like literally what's happening. When Chud is like, this is new information! Bitch, this is literally what we were talking about the whole fucking time, weirdo. How stupid are you? How dumb are you?
This is like these are brand new claims.
They're not
being made. These claims weren't even
this
made
is a
in
lie.
Mr. Girl's article.
This is a lie.
And yet, she's just saying them. Carol, why?
See,
why hasn't Carol Boy said anything?
See, Chud will just say things, and he trusts that his incel audience, who already fucking hates me because they think I'm like the Amber Heard of Twitch, will just fucking believe everything he says. I'm never gonna change these people's minds. His audience fucking hates me. They hate women. They hate everyone who isn't Chud, I guess. Chud is their king. Chud is their champion. And I guess Steven. But this is just all bullshit. It's just all garbage.
What is going on?
And then we met up, and it was fine.
True.
And then he started acting a little different. Let me also specify that we met up in September. I had already been streaming with him for weeks or months at this point. I forget the first stream that we did together, but the first time we did anything sexual in person, I'd been streaming with Steven for like a time. I had already been an established orbiter at this time. So this narrative that like we had a sexual relationship and then it just stayed sexual throughout all of this, it completely ramped up after I'd started streaming with him.
Is what she's saying true? I mean, like, it's true as far as the way she felt about it. Like, she's saying, she's just like,
no, that is fucking. There's no one.
Where's my proof?
To any of this. This is.
What do you want? My proof that we met up in September? Okay, this is September 1st. Yeah, September 1st. He said he already called the Uber. Hold on, I don't want to leak anything that is compromising to either of us. Can you imagine if I did that? Yeah. I said, this is September 1st. I already called the Uber to the center of the city. You'll have to get me from there. And then I said, and then it's just being like, are you by the Chase Bank? And he's saying, I'm walking to some place called Premium Hot Chicken. And I said, okay, I'm here. And then he said, wait, do you live here? I said, we can go to Premium Hot Chicken, I guess. I live 10 minutes away, but I drove according to your ETA, dumbass. Do you want to meet there, or I'm on Vine, or whatever. So we meet on September 1st. I don't know what proof you want. I didn't take any photos of him while we were together.
New. What she's saying happened here is new.
What do you want me to prove? What do you want me to prove? We met. That's when we met up. I don't know. Do you want pictures of Steven and I at the hot chicken place? Come on, guys. We met up on September 1st.
What? She's never said it like this before, ever.
Going over like the course of events, and yes, like the course of events that she's giving right now are true, but she's adding in like her
not even that is correct, because the series of events she has laid out is wrong.
What?
Because she
What's
reached out
wrong?
to Destiny with a sexualized comment initially as well. Like the whole series of events she's
a year or two in 2021, like I have said in this interview, I reached out to Steven first. If you go back and watch this whole VOD, I literally said, no one disputes that I said that, except for Chud. I reached out to Steven first. And I think I do, I think he goes over that part later in this video, if I remember.
Saying, like, yeah, I was just kind of, like, giving, you know, I was giving him pics for content, like, that is her interpretation of it. Whereas Destiny saying, like, no, I just wanted sexual pics from you. It had nothing to do with the content. Like, they never had, like, some sort of verbal agreement to where this was going to be the case. So when she's adding this in, she's adding...
No, but what I think...
Except for the one that I just read in the Max article, in the Destiny report.
Is being missed here is that
well,
this framing that Lav...
We joked about it sometimes, but... Yeah, that was, there's nothing in writing as explicit.
The idea that she was engaging in sex work whilst talking to Destiny like this is a new claim. That's not something that, to my knowledge, she's ever... This is like a new thing she's saying. Am I fucking crazy? Am I fucking crazy? Or is it
yes, you're fucking crazy! You're fucking crazy, Chud!
In, like, her own narration. Tom, it's not true. What's not true? What do you mean, it is not true? What is it?
You guys...
I can't do this, man. My voice is too fucked.
I can't, like... There's a lot here.
Everyone, this is the narrative. Lav lies. No, she's lying. And then Tom will say, what is she lying about? Connor will say, what is she lying about? Someone will say, what is she lying about? No, but... The Hassan thing! And then I explained that the Hassan thing wasn't what it was made to be. And then they're like, well, you still lie. And I'm like, okay, about what? And they're like, and it's fucking... You guys heard Steven say that I was a liar. You guys heard Chud say that I was a liar. And so you're going with that I'm a liar. And that's it. And that's okay. You can believe that I'm a liar on no pretense. You can just look at my face and say I think she's a liar, and that's fine. But to just say, like, I am a liar, you're cringe. And it's not true.
Something like, that is wrong. It is not true. Like, what? What is it? What is it that? What are you talking about? The nude pics never happened. They had been sexual for a while when she was streaming. Yeah, she mentioned that. I don't know what you're...
Dude!
What part is not true?
Even fucking Tom is confused, bro. There's so much derangement when it comes to me that Tom is, like, struggling to be, like... You want to assume that the audience is being good faith and that the audience is telling you some information that you don't have. Always, when you talk to chat. Wiz, shut up. And, it's just... Like, once you start talking to these people and you realize it's fucking derangement, these people don't even know why they don't fucking like me. Other than that, like, I told them that, like, Steven was abusive and mean to me and I didn't like our sexual dynamic. In hindsight, this is... Like, that's it. That's why people fucking hate me. And Chud will go on to say that I'm, like, dangerous. Which is fucking crazy.
Maybe it's just because people haven't looked at it as much as I feel I have. But people just think they have no fucking clue.
People just haven't
This is the problem with
it.
Lav. This is the problem with Lav.
What's the problem, Chud?
The story changes so often and regularly.
Like when?
You need to be able to keep track of
like when,
what
for
it is she's
example?
saying. You know, repeatedly to know what's what.
Like when?
I mean, the biggest thing is point to me.
If anyone wants to tell me in chat,
this framing exists. Like, surely, if this is the claim that's being made now, that would have been something that would have been present or at least mentioned in the article in some way.
It was. You fucking idiot.
Destiny can easily explain that, though. That just the time of their relationship, and there could be a perfectly innocent explanation. I actually just don't care. I don't think he's going to mask off. This is a bit of a hysterical framing of Counterpoint's comments, but I mean, yeah, it's obviously a bit cringe because, and yeah, I just there that essentially the Harvey Weinstein thing is true when there's no evidence that I've seen that backs it up at all.
Happened before she was on stream. Yes, I'm aware.
Actually familiar with. Do you have anything to show me to back this idea up that it was, you know, sexed for exposure?
See, this is also part of the problem is that I'm saying actively that there was no explicit contract ever. I've said that this whole time. I've never brought up that there was an explicit contract in which me and Steven were on the same page and it was explicitly clear that this is what we were doing. I've never made that claim. And Chud is saying to substantiate a claim that I never made. Retarded. How, like, no, what he's asking me, what he's saying is that, he's saying that I'm lying, he has to, if he says that I'm lying, he has to think that I don't actually believe that that's what I was doing. That I don't actually believe that I was trading pictures for stream time. And I do. I do believe that that's what I was doing, to some extent. That is sort of what I was doing. That is what I was doing. I'd send him pictures, and then I got on, and he said, welcome to the Orbiters Club, and I got perms, and, you know, he would, you know, hit me up when he was horny and ask for more photos, and then he'd ask me if you know, he was the one who was like, you should stream. And I was like, okay. And then he'd catch up with me every couple weeks to be like, are you streaming? Are you streaming? Which, if you guys want to see me, like, substantiate that, I probably could go in our chat logs, but they look a little weird. They're like the Hotmail version of the chat logs because he nuked everything. That's another thing. It's like, no one's talking about how fucking weird it is that Steven is like, release the logs! Release the logs, I have nothing to hide. Why did he nuke them all? He nuked all of our chat. Thank God Max told me to, like, back everything up, but, like, that's fucking weird. That's fucking weird.
I don't know, man. I just think people just aren't as invested in it all. That's my guess.
You shouldn't be.
I think you guys are confused. Hold on.
Nobody should be this fucking invested. Doing sex work. Like,
the OnlyFans, that was when I met her, and then she ended up going on to Destiny's stream, and I thought, oh, did I end up putting Lav on Destiny's stream? But they'd actually spoken prior to her going on Destiny's stream for the first time over the OnlyFans sex work stuff. So there's like a massive timeline discrepancies here as well.
What's the timeline discrepancy?
You know, even without knowing from looking into it, I would know of because of my experiences dealing with Lav.
What are you talking? What time discrepancy? Did he explain the time discrepancy?
Over the OnlyFans sex work stuff. So there's like a massive timeline discrepancy. Lav on Destiny's stream, but they'd actually spoken the OnlyFans.
I will just do it.
Also, the timelines on this, you need to double check the timelines too, because when she was leaving OnlyFans, that was when I met her, and then she ended up going on to Destiny's stream, and I thought, oh, did I end up putting Lav on Destiny's stream? But
I had been wanting to leave OnlyFans for months. For months. Before I ever talked to Chud.
They'd actually spoken prior to her going on Destiny's stream for the first time over the OnlyFans sex work stuff. So there's like a massive timeline discrepancies here as well.
No, there isn't.
You know, even without knowing from looking into it, I would know.
See, this is like, Chud trusts that you will just believe everything he says without substantiating it, and then he calls me a liar. If there's a time discrepancy, the onus is on you to fucking prove that there's a time discrepancy.
Experiences dealing with Lav. So there's massive discrepancies here.
Massive discrepancies.
What's this?
Yeah, Rez says 2 months before that she told Mr. Girl she was going to leave OnlyFans. I've been wanting to leave OnlyFans for fucking ever.
Is in fact virtually prostituting Lav.
Did he say this? See, there's like this straw man where like Steven says like when he says like I don't know why she doesn't go full send and say I raped her or something. He raped me multiple times and he told me if I didn't come onto his stream afterwards he would tell the world that I raped him. Like, go big girl. When have I ever, if you watched my interview with Tom Foolery last night or the night before, I have continued to say that our sexual relationship was completely consensual. Consent is not the only thing that makes a relationship, that makes something sexual misconduct. There are other things like, I don't know, Max talks about like, Max talks about like a teacher and a student. If an 18-year-old student, high school student, starts to hit on her teacher, she can consent, he can consent, but it's still unethical to have that relationship because of the power dynamic, because of the potential abuse. Like, consent is not the only. Steven never raped me. I've never ever said that Steven raped me. I felt violated afterwards because I felt like I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I didn't know who Steven was. But that's not rape. That's just me feeling uncomfortable and embarrassed that I interacted with someone who is so cringe.
I was forcing her to send me explicit images and make sexual deals for stream time. I'm so sorry. He raped me multiple times and he told me if I didn't come on...
Hey, the agreement, I guess, is that I send him photos and we're sort of sexual with each other and then I get airtime. And then...
She's... What? What? This is new! What?
Dude, you know what is so sad is that Chud is like... This is like dystopian. Chud goes on his like platform talking to like thousands of like young men who like hate women, and he like virtue signals about like how much he fucking hates me and that I'm a slut and that like you know, all of this shit, and he like acts so surprised and he like plays up this like character. And it's sad. It's sad to be a man in your 30s doing this.
Going on, my voice. Fuck.
Then he started like messaging me, and then that's when he told me the secret, or that's when he told me he had an affair with his wife, pretty out of nowhere. So then he decided to become friends with me, is what he said. So then the lines were blurred. So then we were friends, and then we had also this compartmentalized sexual relationship in which it was like payment for stream time. But then we were also friends, and then it was just...
This is insane.
Just sort of, I just was constantly sort
This
of...
is
insane!
See, whatever you guys heard there is not what she said. She didn't say we had sex after
Thank
I
you.
started streaming. That part never happened.
Wait, we
So
did.
I don't know where
we
you
did,
guys
though.
got that from, but that didn't happen. She didn't say that.
Well, we didn't have sex, but we had like we met up in person and hooked up after we started streaming.
Is Tom listening to a different fucking conversation? All these people are retarded and incapable of covering this. That's what I've decided with this.
Only you can cover it, Chud. Only you are the chosen
saying
one.
That's what happened. She's framing it as fucking sex work. Like, what the fuck?
Other overview, and I was like, yeah, it felt like sex work on one of his streams. And if you put yourself in my shoes, if you think that you're sending feet pictures for stream time. That's sex work. No? That's sex work. Like, so yes, I thought that I was engaging in sex work. Mostly friendly, not really sexual. It was like vaguely sexual. Out to literally this is what happened. 2-3 years ago, I think, I reached out to Steven because I viewed his stuff, and he's released those, I think. Just like the sound of your voice, whatever. See, I did say that I reached out. Thank you. Kind of flirty, whatever. At that point, I had 100,000 followers on Instagram, so you could reach out to literally, at that point, you could reach out to anyone you want, and they'll pretty much respond. I could reach out to any celebrity, and they see you, especially because I have a verified chat mark from music. So it was just sort of one of those things. And then we started talking about politics and stuff like that, and it was like vaguely sexual, but not really, and we were flirting, but it was like, whatever. And then that kind of continued on and off. I never wanted to stream at that point. I didn't want to stream. And the person who put it into my head to stream was Steven. And so for a year, it's just sort of this like kind of strange relationship where we keep up with each other. It's mostly friendly, not really sexual. And then I see Max on one of his streams, and Max made Steven seem more interesting, and also made me think that maybe, I don't know, that I wanted to be involved in some way. So I called into Max's stream, and then, you know, that's how everything started.
I'm not fully up on the lore, but like if I remember correctly, like he thought that your criticisms of sex work were disingenuous, and you were trying to like advertise.
This is even before that. So even before that, I called in just to talk because I saw the sexual review, and I was like, hey, you should probably take more breaks instead of yelling at your girlfriend. Like, you should probably not make your feelings her problem, which he disagreed with. But anyway, behind the scenes, me and Steven would talk because we sort of reconnected at that time, because it was sort of just like passive talking to each other over the year that we had known of each other. And Steven was like, well, you should stream. Like, you're interesting. And I would talk to him about how much I hated sex work and how much I couldn't stand it and I didn't want to be in it anymore. And so this sort of became like my out. With Steven being sort of like, you know, I have a following, and, you know, I'll take you under my wing, and you can stream with me. And then pretty immediately it got pretty sexual, like asking for nude photos. And I remember being like down with it, but also just being like, God, I'm doing sex work. Like, I remember thinking like, this is sex work. But I think, can anyone link me the first time I spoke to Steven after going on Max's stream? his hotline. Because we talk about streaming then, and if I'm remembering that... Hold on, I'm trying to find it. Is this real? You're so annoying! Destiny had a big problem with me saying, no, this isn't it. It was... Okay, so right after I had called, I'm gonna kill someone. I hate you. But after I had talked to Max for the first time, I had then talked to Steven, and Steven was like, are you streaming? You should stream. Anyway, none of that part is fucking important. Anyway, what were we even... Hold on, let's get back to it. I forgot what I was even looking for. I'm having a woman moment, as you would call them. One person to get out of OnlyFans. If I can change careers, I will just do it. I'll just do it. And so then it was sort of just like, okay, the agreement, I guess, is that I sent him photos and we're sort of sexual. She's so full of shit. And then then he started.
Is it sped up or something? No.
The agreement, I guess, is that I sent him photos and we're sort of sexual with each other and then I get airtime.
The agreement, I guess, is that I sent him photos and sexual photos and I get airtime. Like, it's clear as fucking day right there. This is a new claim that she's making.
God, you are so stupid. I'm literally talking about how that's what it felt like, idiot. I'm literally talking about how that's what it felt like. That's what I perceived the agreement to be. And it was easy to perceive it that way, especially after literally you can see that he was like, I was like, pleasure doing business, and he was like, base, welcome to the Orbiters Club. Like, it is not beyond reasonable that I would think that.
Which has not been made previously.
And I still do.
Which is a very specific claim, which would need some fucking evidence to back up. Yes, she's claiming...
Tom Fillery did understand what I was trying to say.
Agreement between the two of them.
People who aren't retarded and just trying to make me like an evil sorceress Jewess bad guy, understand what I was trying to say.
That she was sending sexual photos for airtime on stream, which is, the Harvey Weinstein shit. But everything that we've seen is opposite to that. That Destiny didn't do anything like that with her.
And then he started messaging me, and then that's when he told me the secret.
What do you mean there? She didn't say they had sex yet.
Is Tom fucking retarded or something? Tom is honestly one of the most brain-dead fuckers that covers all this shit. Okay?
If you don't hate me and you don't think that I'm a lying scum of the earth piece of shit immediately every time I talk, you are brain dead.
Just stick your fucking nose out of it, Tom, you retard. You clearly don't know what the fuck you're doing, okay? What fucking planet are you sat on?
Okay, Keemstar, relax.
Oh, what's the problem here, guys? Oh, they're not talking about sex, so what's the problem? What a fucking retard.
What are you talking about? This is what I'm saying. She's adding in, like, her own narration to it. She's adding in, like, her own perception of things. Get it now?
She's not just adding in her own narration and perception. This is a brand new thing she has said.
Okay. Again. It's not. It is not. As we went over prior in the video, it is just not. He keeps repeating this, willing it to be true. It is not true.
She has not commented it in these terms before. This is the first time.
Yes, this is the first time I've ever said it in those words. Because up until that point, up until I talked to Connor about it, I had not been public with the way that I felt about it. The only time I'd been public about the way that I had felt with it was when Steven was on a panel with me trying to gaslight me out of, well, that's when he was lying and saying that it had been weeks or months since we'd had any sexual contact, which was a complete lie, which you can see in the article. I think within 2 weeks of when he called me a dumb bitch, he was asking to, eat me out all weekend for TwitchCon. So this is the first time, this is me breaking my silence. I broke my silence with Connor. So it was not a new thing, but the first time I had said it, yes.
He's ever commented on it in this way with this fucking framing. Ever. That I've heard. I've not heard her speak on it like this ever before. That there was nudes for airtime.
That trading nudes for airtime didn't happen. Hold on, I know. Nobody's even talking about that. Nobody said that. Nobody said that she. Again, I said this earlier. That yes, I had already said that there was not agreement. That she was just adding in her own narration to this. No one said anything about them having sex.
Up until this point, my narrative had been very little. because I didn't. I also, people were asking me for my narrative, like, as it was happening, like, last November. I didn't know what the fuck was going on last November. Steven had gaslit me into fucking oblivion. I had no idea what the fuck which way was up. I didn't know who to trust. I didn't particularly trust Max with all of this in the beginning. Like, obviously I didn't. I mean, people were messaging me every day being like, this guy wants to fuck you, this guy wants to do whatever with you, he's using you. I didn't fucking trust anyone. I didn't trust anyone. I didn't know which way was up. Then after going through, you know, after doing therapy, after going through our logs myself, after reading the article, and after, you know, watching the VODs in which, you know, Max was going through the videos and then telling me, you know, I just watched a VOD where this happened and he had lied, and Steven had lied to me about that thing happening. So I was just like, I didn't know what the fuck I didn't know what was going on at any given point. Now, I think I have clarity on this situation. I don't feel like a victim. I feel like I feel like I was caught in I was caught in one of Steven's very messy interpersonal situations. And I had really poor boundaries. And, yeah, and I fucked around and I found out, basically. I fucked around with someone who I didn't do the proper background of, and who I should have known would be a fucking piece of shit, and I didn't. And I was stupid.
Sounds like an unspoken perceived agreement. Exactly like wine.
She said that the agreement was that she sent pics for airtime. Are you guys seriously? You made me rewind this just to...
I hope that was a meme, Henry.
Just for me to see what I already said? Drama. Are you kidding me right now? Is this a joke?
The wig shedding. The wig shedding.
What the hell?
Happy with it.
Yeah, see, this is a big part of, like, BPF's argument, is that, like, if she seems to be, like, complicit in what it is that she's saying, and she's saying, like, you know, yes, I wanted to do this. This was my deal. This is what I wanted. I got my share. I got what I asked for. Like, I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure this is what BPF is talking about. That, like, yeah, it sounds like she's, like, agreeing to do this ahead of time without, like, any sort of, like, I don't know, coercion or anything to it.
Yeah. And then we met up. And it was fine. And then he started acting a little different, and then I started coming on more. And then he started saying, and this is a man who already knew that my reputation was completely in his hands, because that's why he wanted me to stream with him. He knew that
it's not why.
I misspoke. I would be building a community.
It's not why. It's one of the reasons. He said that I could stream with him because he had an audience.
He said that I would abuse him and manipulate him in conversations. And so all of a sudden
Okay, wait.
Minecraft tutorials.
You guys are saying they had not been sexual for a while when she was streaming.
Get out of here. Oh. Tomfoolery just linked me. Go to 12:30, you talk about implicit coercion.
There's a lot of people that I've, like, flirted with and it didn't go anywhere. Do you understand that that's what you mean when you say tried to sleep with? Like, I flirted with Kelly Jean in a but that's not the message you're conveying. You're making me sound like a rapist. He tried to sleep with him. I flirted with Kelly 6 years ago. Wow. Called me the Harvey Weinstein of Twitch.
Oh my gosh. Yes, at that point, there is...
What do you think that implies?
When we go back in our DMs, I send you a scantily clad photo, and you say, "Welcome to the Orbiters Club."
Yeah, and I've asked you if you're doing okay, and you're like, "I still want to fuck you."
He, like, doesn't even...
Do you really think that was your entry into my stream?
He doesn't even, like, respond to that. He just, like, he moves the goalpost. It's actually fucking crazy.
I got perms after that. I don't know.
So, okay, just to be clear, you're hinging all of my...
So this wasn't a new narrative. This is, like... when... I trust people very easy. When Chud says that he doesn't, like... When Chud said that this was a new thing, I was like, fuck, are people thinking this is a new thing? It's not. I've been saying this since the fucking beginning.
Implied sexual coercion on me saying, "Welcome to the Orbiter Club."
Implied sexual coercion. Listen.
I just want to hear you say that. You're telling me that you think that was the serious me saying, "Welcome to the Orbiter Club." You've made it because you sent me a picture?
I think your implied sexual coercion, this is what I think. because I really do not want anyone to put words in my mouth, okay? I think that you live an extremely messy sexual life, okay? I think that when you mix that with now 8 to 13,000 people who are now part of your life parasocially, it is even messier and potentially abusive.
Let me finish. All of my sexual relationships on that. If you want to do that,
Anna, I found you.
Anyway, I guess that you can hear it there, but it's not like a. I don't know where that was going. I don't know where else that was going.
Okay, so I misunderstood. Yes. Okay. That it's one.
Been rated 5 Pinocchios, so let's just move on.
Yes, it's conjecture. There's nothing substantial here. Nothing to latch on to.
I was unhappy with the way that I was part of a sexual dynamic in which he was sexting Cherry and trying to sext me or trying to meet up with me and trying to meet up with her, and then he'd message me being like, Cherry's on right now, like, time to get her.
I don't think see, you're saying it's crazy how Connor just let her lie and didn't push back once. I haven't heard a lie yet. I don't know.
Tom understanding in real time that everyone's fucking deranged and just like hates me for no reason.
But if I was him, I would be asking for a lot more details.
He's probably really confused.
I haven't heard her lie about anything.
Have I managed to get a bit of fucking... I didn't even intend to do this today. I thought I wouldn't be able to cope with... I need the white blood... Someone just said in chat, I need the white blood cells for myself. But that was just crazy. So, what's the lie, though?
Laughs about what's the lie. Doesn't say what it is.
It's got a DM about the stream.
Chud has always talked about, like, the Hassan thing, and he's always talked about how I said that I was not selling nudes, or that nudes weren't on my Patreon, but they actually were. And then he's decided that, like, everything I do and say is a lie. He doesn't... This is the thing. I don't even think that Chud actually thinks I'm a liar. It's just really lucrative to say I am. And he has repeatedly said... all Chud says is that he's doing this for the money. He's doing this for all of the money. He's a grifter. He's proud of it. So, if you're getting your fucking news from fucking Keemstar of Twitch Poll... Do your thing, I guess. So, but you're cringe.
The Lawrence Southern rumour spread as far as Aswin is nothing but just that, an unsubstantiated rumour. I agree, DK. Wasn't it you that was saying it in my chat on the night of the event? Let's put it that way. Anyway, listen, I just look. Is that enough for Lav? Is that enough for the fucking Lav segment? Do I need to say more? Can I just watch my little fucking fake Tourette's TikTok thing I wanted to hide?
Chud, you don't have to make content on me. You don't have to. I'll tell you what, you do not have to make content on me. And in fact, I've asked you not to. But you won't stop. You won't stop. I'm too much of a hot topic.